Hello and welcome to the video. I'm Callister, and in today's video I just wanted to kind of break down some of the Witch Queen trailers that have come out and just kind of deep dive and analyze what we can find in the trailers and kind of see what we can piece together from them. It's been a while since I made a video, and the last videos I made were Halo, but I am a huge Destiny player. I have thousands of hours poured in, and I'm very excited for Witch Queen. So this is definitely something that I enjoy doing, but now that I'm making videos, might as well do it on a video. Anyways, we're going to start with the gameplay trailer, and then we're going to go to the Game Awards trailer. So let's go ahead. I'm not even going to play the trailer. If you want to watch it, you can look it up, but we're just going to take the playback speed. I'm going to turn the volume down too, just to be safe. And we're going to skip up here. All right. So the first thing we see here in this trailer... All right, we're just going to turn the volume off, actually. So the first thing we see here is Savathun's throne world and the big bath on top. So taking a look here, this looks like a playable space that we'll see later on in the trailer, because you can see kind of like this gate structure here, like this wall. Not this side here, but like behind this fountain, there's like a kind of a walkway, it looks like, and then a gate here, which I think is what we're going to see at the end of the trailer here. But this does just kind of look like part of the patrol destination. So we're going to move forward here. So then we have the big bath on top, one of the new knights or Savathun herself. So here's an interesting shot. So we have Savathun obviously hovering over us, and then we have this island formation here, and then all this water. So immediately I'm thinking this is on top of the bath. If you look behind the island here, there's like another one of the like gate formations. This might be the entrance to like the top of the bath. And seeing the large Savathun hanging over us, I do think that this is going to be the final mission. If you play Taken King, this will be a lot like the Regicide mission where you're kind of going through the Dreadnought to find Oryx. And I think this is similar. Like, I think this is part of... This is either going to be like the beginning mission or like the end mission, where you're going to go up to her bathwater and, you know, maybe she's on this island or like inside of like the structure on the island. And you need to, you know, you're making your way across here. But I don't think this is the whole playable space. This is very obviously on top of the bath because you don't see the bath anywhere in the background. So it pans out just a little bit. We have the bungee. Then we have Oryx. Nothing new here. Okay, so here's another interesting shot. So as we can see here, we're on top of the bath. Because this is the edge of it. Circular edge, and there's water all here. You might be asking, like, is this really water? And it will show us in just a second that this is all reflective. And then there's like this bridge, which I think this is how it gets to the island. Is here's that gate formation that we just saw right here. So I think that little... So what I'm thinking is this is behind the island. This bridge leads on to that island that we saw. So that bridge, if you follow that bridge, that all is behind this. And this island thing is kind of in the middle of the bath. Oh, too far. From here, you can also see kind of more of the hellish part of her throne world. And then the destroyed pyramid, which is where the raid's going to take place, and then kind of the swamps at the bottom. All in all, I'm so excited for Witch Queen. Like, this looks very Dreaming City-esque, very high fantasy. And that's, for me, that's when Destiny is kind of at its best. So we see another shot here of just kind of a fountain. Just looks like part of the playable patrol destination. And actually, if we go back just a little bit here, you can see, it's kind of blurry, but you can see that gate formation right up top here, again, at the top of the bath. So then we have an internal shot here. of like inside the structures. Looking at this shot here, there's not really a whole lot you can gather. Like, you have these platforms and there's like doors right here, but I don't think they go anywhere. They kind of just look like more like decoration. All right, so here we have our first shot of our Guardians with the new Throne World armor, which looks so fucking good. I love it. So these are in the swamps. And based on what we know, it seems like we're going to kind of start in the swamps and then work our way up to the fortress. In this trailer, though, they actually show off really just the Vault of Glass weapons. So we see Praetus Revenge there, a linear fusion on the back, which kind of looks like Reed's Regret, I think. Okay, yeah, so if I pull this over here, you can see Reed's Regret has this kind of like pointed bit at the bottom of the barrel, which is exactly what we see here. So just Reed's Regret on the back there, nothing new. So this is the Hunter. So this is the new cloak, which is interesting to say the least. This is the Warlock and this is the Titan up here. I think the Throne World armor is some of the better armor we've seen for a destination in a while. Fatebringer on the Warlock. Titan looks like it's probably using... I can't see it from here, what type of weapon it is, but it's probably a Vault of Glass weapon. All right, so here we have something that it might be kind of confusing to see at first. However, if you're like me and looked at the leaks online, spoiler alert, I mean, it's not really a spoiler alert, but I'm going to spoil the name of this mechanic in 3, 2. So this is called True Sight. So True Sight is going to be an ability or mechanic inside the Throne World that when using it will unveil hidden pathways. It's pretty much like the whole Ascendant foil from Dreaming City, whatever it's called. So this will just kind of be similar to that. So you see kind of what it looks like on the gameplay side when you're using it instead of the more cinematic view. So he uses True Sight, and now he's like following these footsteps through this like hallway, holding a Fatebringer. And so if I had to take a guess, this will probably be one of the earlier missions when we're investigating how Savathûn has the light and tracking down our first, or not our first, but tracking down a Hive Guardian. And Ikora is probably going to be like, hey, head in there and see what you can find. Your ghost is going to be like, hang on, there's something here. And then you could use True Sight and it shows you where the Hive Guardian went. So you're kind of following it. Then it's a little horror-esque. Some edited flashing lights here. Shows a thrall running at us. All right, there's a lot to unpack in this scene. So this is kind of the hellish underworld of Savathûn's Throne World, which Bungie did say there is a part of the Throne World that's more of a hellish underside. So I assume that's what this is. This looks very Pit of Heresy-esque. So right away, of course, we see like this bridge leading all the way up to an inner chamber. However, if you look here, you have like the swinging lanterns, which are always fun. But if you look over to the right, there's also a path that leads up into the rocks with more swinging lanterns this way. If I had to take a guess, this is probably mission specific, dungeon, strike, something like that. This probably isn't part of the patrol space. I mean, I guess it could be, but it's just such a different tone. Unless this patrol space is supposed to be, similar to Nessus, I really don't see them fitting all of this and the Throne World unless it's just going to be pretty small. Like, this is one side, then you have the swamp, and then you have the Throne World, then you have like a second part of like the Throne World, or like I say like Throne World, but like the Savathûn's kind of castle structure, and then maybe like another bubble somewhere, like another space. But I don't know. I see this being more mission specific than patrol. So right here we see our Guardians running down through this space. Well, this actually is different because you don't see kind of like the rocks on the side. This might be inside. This might be inside that structure, but it's definitely in that hellish underside because we see like the red lighting. Oops. So we see our Guardian here holding a glaive. Walking across the bridge, there's a hive rune holding something there that we need to interact with. So this just looks like a walkway into any sort of type of basic arena. Fatebringer on the back of the Warlock. No other new weapons yet. Another part of the inside of the castle part. See the hunter holding a quick thing, and looks like a. I don't know what's on the back here because you can see it here and also here. Actually, I think this is just part of the Throne World armor. So this might be just another Vogue weapon. It's all the weapons they have is mostly just Vogue weapons or the glaive. So quick thing's kind of interesting here. And it looks like the Warlock also has a sword on the back as well. And I think this is Vision of Confluence, Fatebringer, and then that gold plating indicates it's another Vogue weapon. But yeah, this is just an inside tunnel. It's all pink. There's nothing really to look at here. Very pretty though. All right, so this is interesting. So we see these red flowers, blue kind of crystal structures heading up to this like fountain area. I think we see this a little bit further in the trailer as well when they start showing off the Hive Guardians, but it's hard to say. There's also this like glowing effect going on. If I play it, there's like this glowing effect. Seeing Savathun up here, this also might be like on the way to kill her. This might be one of the more important story missions. Whoops. All right, here we go. Holding Reed's Regret. I believe this is a Reed's Regret. It's a linear fusion that we've seen before already. This is interesting. The SMG on the back of this Warlock, though, this is definitely not Vogue because Vogue doesn't have an SMG. And I can't tell what it is from here. I see that like line here, and I don't know if this is Shayura's Wrath right away. It could be the Throne World SMG, but regardless, there's an SMG that I'm not able to identify right off the bat. All in all, though, this does look really cool. I think this is definitely going to be an arena of some. Well, this might not be an arena because you see these like bushes going through the middle here. Bungie is pretty open with their arena design and doesn't throw anything in the middle here. So this looks like it could be maybe a teleporter or maybe something to just like interact with up here. Savathun's up top. I have to assume every time Savathun's like shadow is above us, she's probably speaking to us and like taunting us. Here we see some hive spawning in. Background's a little too blurry to kind of make anything out. Lots of spikes. Very spiky boys. And there's the big bad herself, Savathun. So here we see the shot of our three guardians running across a bridge. Again, this is just more inside shots of the castle. Vogue weapons here. There doesn't seem to be anything crazy going on inside. Like there's nothing we can really tell that's inside. Corrective measure, vision, Fatebringer, Reed's Regret again. They really love showing off Reed's. This armor looks so good though. I'm very excited for this armor. Way more excited than I was for the what was it called? The Crytosine armor from Europa. I think this armor is very. It's on the same par as Reverie Dawn for like destination armor. The only problem is I know this is going to be overshadowed by the raid armor. Since our raid is going to be inside a pyramid ship, you know, they can get pretty crazy with like the design and style of that like design and style of that motif, like the pyramid motif, like really sharp edges, lots of like diamond shapes and pyramid shapes, kind of like Rasputin. Again, there was just a shot of like thralls running, nothing there. Savathun looking pretty crazy here. I think Savathun's design is really good. Like seeing that crown on top, kind of like built into her head is really cool. First shot of the Hive Ghost. I'm looking at the background here, but I don't see anything worth mentioning. here we see it, our first shot of a Hive Guardian. So this is a Hive Guardian. Oh. So we have the Acolyte, which is the Hunter, the Wizard, which is the Warlock, and the Knight, which is a Titan. And I believe we see it in the Game Awards trailer that the Knight can wield it wields a Solar and a Void class. So I think I don't want to get overconfident, but it does seem, we'll go over it more in the Game Awards trailer, but it might seem like every Hive Guardian, when they're resurrected, could have a different element. But I want to say that it's probably not, I don't think that could be accurate, because how would you plan a Nightfall if it's like you're fighting a Void Titan Knight, and you kill it and then it turns to Arc and maybe like match games on and nobody's prepared for Arc? I guess like it would make it harder for sure, but man. Anyways, we'll go over that more in the Game Awards trailer. So we see the Knight here throwing one of its shields off its arm. Shield runs into the Warlock. Where we see our Fatebringer. And that's like the main thing we're doing in this trailer, is like seeing in the background what we can like pick apart and like new weapons. But Vision of Confluence. It's interesting that they went with just showing kind of the raid weapons. And they did this a lot too with the Beyond Light trailers. They just showed off like previous gear that we had, instead of showing off a lot of the new gear outside of the armor. So here we see the Acolyte Hunter using Blade Barrage. Nothing really in the background. They're more just showing off like the abilities. Throwing like Hive Daggers. Found Verdict. Here we see the Wizard Warlock. So here we see that blue crystal structure again with the red leaves. So this must be like a really deep, or just its own like section. I think this is going to be kind of like its own explorable part of the patrol space. We have our 3 Guardians running away. Found Verdict, Vision, and probably Fatebringer. Another Found Verdict. And so we see the Wizard here cast Landfall. And you can kind of see like these sparks come out. Unknown if this is like VFX or like actual damaging, like something that can damage you. It seems like it's a lot. Like it's pretty easy to see. Very vibrant, which would indicate that this is probably something that could damage you, as you'll like need to see it more to avoid it. But nothing else here. No new ghosts. This is the one from the pre-order. All right, here's our second shot of the glaive, so we can see the Throne World armor. You're attaching the glaive. And I'm like, fuck, dude, the glaive looks so cool. Here we see one of the thralls with the Void Knight behind it. All right. Remember at the very beginning of this video when I said, hey, this looks like it's behind something else. So we see like this gate formation here with the like something blocking the gate. And we see at the very end here when they kill all the hive, the door opens. So we're at 109. So I believe this section that we're seeing right now is right behind this pillar. It's like this like walkway up to this gate. But I guess it could be anywhere. I'm just kind of like stitching it together currently. All right. And then for further confirmation on that, we can kind of see like this kind of structure in the back here. And then we also see the fountain where the crystal thrall had like the flowers growing out of them right behind the warlock here. Corrective measure, Fatebringer, glaive. And we can see right here the glaive is void. So the one that we can craft right away, or not right away, but the first one we'll craft will be a void one. It's very likely there'll be a raid glaive and then an exotic glaive, which will hit the other elements, or maybe one will be kinetic. Fatebringer then pulls out the glaive. And actually, if we take one frame back here, you can see, I think there's another glaive on the Titan right here. It does seem to be a glaive. And I think we actually see it in the next shot. So, yeah, there's the glaive. Glaive and Fatebringer. So, glaive has frontal melee attack, backhand melee attack. And with the glaive, you can shoot it melee, or it does have an energy shield to protect yourself. That Bungie stated in some interviews. This is the first shot we can actually see, like the first footage we can see of that energy shield in action that not a lot of people caught up on. Like, I never saw anybody talk about it, but you can see that energy shield in action blocking from a Shrieker. And it looks like the shield kind of dissipates after a few shots here. We do see the Hunter swooping around with his arc staff, and then we have the Warlock pushing up with their glaive. Now, this is interesting. Right here, you can see a Scatternade. The Gunslinger Scatternade. However, our Gunslinger is actually an Arc Strider, meaning that this is likely thrown from one of the Hive Guardians. So the Hive Guardians will have access to our grenades as well. Yeah, you can see like the Scatternade's actually going after the Titan right here. So confirmation that the Hive Guardians will have our grenade abilities, at least some of them. Jumping over, shoots with the glaive, shoots that Void Burst. Here we see the Acolyte with its flaming knives, which we Icarus dash past the knives, which is so cool looking. And I want to point out just how tall these guys are. Like, these guys are really tall. Like, look how tall this is. What? This guy is fucking huge. The gun is like the size of the body. This guy's so fucking huge. This is literally just a full-on dick stab. Look at that. What? Who told them they have to resurrect this big? This is actually insane. Like, just how big they are. And I don't think a lot of people realize how big they are until, like, maybe you look at this shot, but I think nobody's really gonna realize it until, like, Witch Queen comes out and they fight their first one, and they're gonna be like, holy fuck. Like, I was, you know, standing face to crotch to this guy. These guys are huge. It doesn't really change anything, but, like, they're just like giants. Look at this. They're like the size of ogres. All right, so they kill them, and then they're gonna take the ghost. And very badass animation. They're gonna just destroy it. Something that the Hive never learned to do for us, but we know. Cool. And then, as you can see, as soon as they destroy the ghost, the black barrier starts dissipating. And you can see just a little bit inside there. We can see, like, the more Thrall statues. And then it kind of looks like it's just like a wall here, and then, like, the pathway to go around the wall. If I had to take a guess, I think this is going to lead up to the gate to get on top of the giant bath. And I think since there were three Hive Guardians, and you know how Bungie does, you know how Bungie is, they like to kind of make the, like, final mission kind of like a mini gauntlet. If I had to take a guess here, and this might even be spoilers because I'm pretty confident in my guess. So the final mission where we go try to get to Savathûn, it's going to be up this walkway behind this little fountain here. We're going to hit the bridge. When I hit the bridge, there's going to be that army of Hive and then 3 Hive Guardians. We got to kill all the Hive, go through the door here, and then that'll lead a way up onto this platform here, which we then walk across the bridge to get to the island. And that's probably where we fight Savathun. It's on top of the bath. It's a secluded like little structure here. Probably where we fight Savathun. But again, that's just a guess. Then we have our cover art, which looks dope. This looks so good. But yeah, that's trailer 1. That is a breakdown of the whole first trailer. All right. So we got the second trailer up now. So this is the Game Awards trailer. So it's a little bit of live action, a little bit of game, so we can see kind of the Mars background here, which they're going to bring up in a second. And actually, I'm going to let this trailer play with sound first, and then we're going to break down, because I want to break down some of the audio here that they talk about.
Is that? It can't be.
It is.
Just start at the beginning.
We landed on Mars. It looked wrong. Like we were in a dream.
And you boarded Savathun's ship. Wicked thing. The lure.
Yeah. We wanted to find her. Try to gain the upper hand. But she was baiting us.
What happened next?
My ghost brought me back. We kept going. She knew we would.
And that's when you saw the night.
I'll never forget it.
It refused to die.
Yeah, just like us.
And you're sure? You're absolutely sure it was light? Savathun's illusions can fool the senses.
No. I know what I saw. This is real.
What made you push forward?
We needed to know what that thing was. We couldn't stop.
What has she done?
All right, so that's the trailer. I wanted to play that one because the audio is actually a little clear on, or not clear, but more clues are in the audio talking about going to Mars and stuff. This trailer, while the first trailer had mostly just like locations to break down and kind of piecing together the throne world, this one has a lot more to break down in terms of hidden details. So it starts right here. So she explains that they went to Mars, which is interesting because we don't have Mars anymore in Destiny. And this doesn't even look like Mars. So you can see kind of this like tear here. This is definitely crops, and this is a windmill or like a wind turbine. Now this looks like Mars, but this is not Mars. This looks more like that swampy kind of underbed of the throne world. And this definitely does seem to be the beginning mission for Witch Queen. So we have our 3 guardians. We're going to see some new weapons this time. Thankfully. Thankfully. No more Vogue weapons. So they're just kind of walking through these crops you can see in the background. All right, so right away, we see some new weapons right here. And they're kind of hard to pick out in between the leaves. But you can see what looks like a scout rifle here. It has a bayonet that we're going to see. Actually, we're going to see this one a little bit further in the trailer. But this does seem to be a scout rifle. And then Forerunner. Then an SMG. Now, I don't know what SMG this is. This doesn't look like a Throne World SMG. This doesn't look like the Hive Exotic SMG. This looks a lot like a Viced SMG with kind of a like stock on the back, which is interesting. Yeah, I have no idea what SMG that is. And I don't think we see it anywhere else in the trailer. So here we actually don't show them in the crops anymore. They're on Mars. However, here is the cradle from Io, part of the Season of Arrivals. So that's really interesting. I have no idea how it could be here. I have to think there might have been like an anomaly tear or something like that like we go into, and all the destinations that disappeared, this is kind of where they all are like merging inside. Maybe, but I have no idea. And then we see them pan up to this ring structure here. And this is where they talk about, yeah, they boarded the ship. This doesn't look like a ship to me. This, I don't know what to take from this. The only thing I can gather is this is the same ring formation on the Dreadnought that Oryx used to like blast his throne world out. So then they talk about boarding the ship. So obviously we see a man cannon here. And we have them in some type of Cabal facility. They break a vent. And they're actually fighting Cabal here, which is interesting. There's no Hive yet. This is definitely a Cabal ship of some kind. Using the Forerunner. So you can see there's kind of an outside here to the ship. Yep. Again, more outside. This might be more of a tank than like a ship. But it's some type of Cabal vehicle. So then we see like some Cabal dropships landing on Savathun's like ring ship formation thing here. And there's kind of like this landing pad here. So maybe we take one of the Cabal dropships up there, like we fly it up there. But then this person, you can kind of see right here, just based on like the movement, they're kind of landing from a man cannon. So it does seem like we will get launched up there somehow. And so this is the landing pad right above the cradle. So somehow we're going to get up to that ring ship at the top. It's just so cool. This is such a cool... I can't wait to experience this in game. So then they're kind of going deeper into like the bowels of Savathun's ring ship. Interesting zoom in on that structure here. I don't know if it's just a statue or if it's going to be something else. Hang on, what was that? There's a lot of like these flickers here, but they don't seem to be anything important. So then we see that the Titan actually gets their glaive, and there's this. I have no idea what this could be. It seems like some sort of relic. Something that we probably interact with. Yeah, it looks like right here that they might be interacting with it, and then that's what spawns the Hive in. So then the Hive come in behind. So this is our first... This is probably going to be our first fight with the Lucent Brood. We're going to see something cool here. We're going to see a couple of cool things, actually. So, of course, we see the glaive. We can see, like, this little mini Nova Bomb thing. And then also, this is the Dream World, or Throne World SMG. This little mini Nova Bomb we're going to see again in just a few seconds. And then the Titan actually shows off their new ranged melee attack. So it seems like everybody's going to be getting a ranged melee. So the Warlocks will have their mini Nova Bomb, and Titans will have their shield toss. So they'll just toss their shield as a ranged melee, which I think is super cool, and definitely what the Titans needed. And here it is. This is something I haven't seen anybody talk about for whatever reason, but we do have the new exotic SMG on full display here. It's a really small image. So this is the exotic SMG on the pre-order bundle for Witch Queen. Let me get rid of this real quick. So really small here, but this is the exotic SMG. And everybody's like, yeah, it looks like Recluse combined with Thorn. And that's basically what we see here. So it's a Viced SMG, lots of spikes. Now, the interesting thing is, everybody's been speculating that we're going to get a corruption damage type for our next Darkness subclass. Not in Witch Queen, because they said there's no Darkness subclass in Witch Queen, but the next expansion. And the basis for it is Thorn and Necrotic Grip having an actual corruption damage type. So here we see with this exotic SMG, these are its bullets. These are green and black bullets. They're not blue like Arc. They're not dark purple like Stasis. These are green and black. And you can actually see when it kills the Thrall here, it spreads the corruption, just like Thorn and Necrotic Grip. So this is probably our first taste. Well, I guess second, Thorn being our first with Necrotic. But this is going to be another taste of the new corruption damage type. This is like kind of an evolution into it. Man, I'm so excited. Like, I don't know how, I haven't seen anybody talk about this exotic SMG having a corruption damage type, but maybe it's kinetic. Maybe this isn't like a full damage type yet, but let alone like this is definitely leading into, you know, corruption subclasses. Look at that. Like it, and then it explodes. Like there's no way that this isn't its own element. This is going to be a new element. It's going to be the corruption element, whatever they want to call it. And I definitely see if they do make this a full element with Witch Queen, you know, to kind of build up to the next expansion with Lightfall and like the next subclass, I definitely see Thorn also getting that element. And here we have just another shot of it here, just shooting out the green bullets. That's the big one. That's the big part. Here we see Warlock using their new ranged melee, launching a little mini Nova Bomb across. Then it just hits the Acolyte and explodes. Looks like it has that bloom explosion. Then we see the Hunter here. Nothing really special with the BXR Battler. Ogre shooting a guy with the glaive, and then we see the exotic SMG one last time on the back. Very intentional, very intentional camera work here for the trailer team, just to show off this exotic SMG even more. Very excited to try that out. Ogre smashes, kills the Titan. Then they talk about getting brought back by the ghost. Then they go deeper into the facility, and we can see in this little shot here, we can see Savathun actually leading further away. And we see these like red flowers again here. So this is probably further into the fortress than it looks like, or than it initially seems. So we see Savathun flying off here. And then we see Gateway. So here's that scout rifle again. And I say it's a scout because this is normally a scope associated with scouts. I guess it could be a pulse, but this is just a scout rifle frame with like a bayonet. I have no idea what weapon this is, though. This doesn't look like the Throne World weapons. They're not going to show us any raid weapons. Maybe it's just a new overworld drop or something. Who knows? This looks like a new hand cannon. It kind of looks like Spare Rations, but like the Spare Rations body. I don't know what this is. This looks blocky. It looks like it could be a fusion, maybe a shotgun, maybe an auto rifle. Yeah. It's like a rectangle. So probably a shotgun. Yeah, this is a new Suros shotgun. Okay, I can see the frame now. That's definitely a Suros shotgun. So we see the back here, just kind of this big gate that they're coming out of. Still can't tell what hand cannon this is, but it definitely looks very Spare Rations like. So then we see Hive, like a portal with some chains and runes on it. Stuff we've seen before, and we see what I'm assuming will be our first interaction with the new Hive Guardian. So I have to assume, okay, so it's Void right here. You can tell by the purple, it's a Void Knight. And here it goes tossing the nades, like I talked about with the scatter nades. It's going ahead and tossing one. This looks like that looked like a flashbang. Actually, that looked like a suppressor nade because it's a Void. So this looks like a suppressor nade. So we see the Titan here pop the barricade, scout rifle again, explodes. Then we see, oops, a new or returning Viced sidearm. Warlock sliding, jumps up, and, or not jumps, but throws its melee. Now the Titan puts up their barricade, and this is a Titan barricade, so they can shoot through it, which is going to be mad annoying to deal with. But it does make sense. The Titans already have a barrier, so it does make sense that it kind of evolves. Here we can see our first real look at the new Dream World, or sorry, Throne World. I don't know why I keep saying Dream World. The first new Throne World weapon, which is the SMG, and fuck, it is beautiful. I love all the bits and pieces. There's not really a solid frame to it. It's just kind of pieced together. And you have like the coil kind of coming around here. And I think there's supposed to be like some animation with the coil. It looks so good. And it's been a while since we've gotten any good SMGs. So I'm very excited for new SMGs, especially with ones that we can craft. So we see that hand cannon again here, which again looks like Spare Rations. Then we see Titan using a new finisher that showcases like a glaive finisher. It's all right. I prefer the subclass finishers, but it's all right. Just what it is. And it shows our Hive, the Hive Ghost. And the reason I'm not speculating on arenas, like this whole area and stuff, is because I think this is going to be the first mission, so I think it's going to be a lot of really cinematic areas to kind of like throw you into the new expansion. Because this doesn't look like anything we've seen yet. So then we see our knight get brought back. Shows the glaive, maybe powering up. Now it looks like he pops almost like a super. And starts throwing his shields, I think. Yep, here comes the shields. Throws it. Hunter dodge. That almost looks like the SMG. Oh, no, wait, that was the Throne World SMG. So then we see Sentinel here. Anything new with the Sentinel? So the knight kind of clashes their shields together as like a giant void burst. Then we just see 3 supers going in. Overwhelms the knight, blows him up. Yeah, you can kind of tell by this arena and stuff. This does look like just our first entrance into the Throne World. It's just really hard to say after everything we saw in the beginning with Mars, the field, the cradle from Io. So then we see them grab the ghost and destroy it. God, that armor looks so cool. I love it. Very like voodoo witchy type of stuff. Like with all like the needles and masks. All right, let me see those last frames real quick. Interesting. Hang on. I'm trying to get the one frame before that. Oh, Savathun there. What is this? This is interesting. Doesn't matter. Live action stuff. Nothing going on in live action. And then we see... Hang on. Savathun here. I think we saw this one earlier, actually. Maybe not. Knight. Savathun. Savathun. All right, whatever. So then after they kill it, obviously that opens the portal. So they're like, all right, let's continue through the portal. And this is interesting because it shows them confronting... Ooh, wait, hang on. We can see that hand cannon. That is not spare rations. What? That's a Throne World hand cannon. Look at the runes on the end. Ooh, yes. Ooh, yes. We finally get a new, like... I say a new. We get hand cannons all the time, but, like... It's like that Western model, like trust, spare rations and stuff. Man, that's awesome. Love that. These gauntlets look like the Frumious Crypts? That's weird. Like, this is Throne World. This is Throne World too. Look at the cloak. But that's not the Throne World arms. I don't think we've seen those arms on other... Whatever. Whatever. I don't know. All right. New Throne World hand cannon confirmed. So then they go into the portal. So this is interesting here. So once they get to the other side, this looks like a new Throne World weapon. I can't tell if that's the SMG or maybe like a pulse rifle. I can't tell. But then we actually see Savathun herself, which is interesting that she just shows up right away. So you can actually see her cast Nova Warp here, and then she's going to throw a Nova Bomb. Here we see the Warlock charging up their new melee. Yep. Tosses her Nova Bomb. And it does look like it's going to be... I don't want to think it's a one-hit kill, but it does look pretty powerful. Is that it? Interesting that they... Let me see Eris here in the background. I don't know if this is part of the first mission. This doesn't seem like it would be part of the first mission, though. Like, I don't think you would fight Savathun on your first time. Anything else in, like, these scenes here? The main thing I want to see, there was one little shot here of that hunter shooting the hand cannon, and I just want to see... It's a kinetic. Okay. Interesting. Cool. Well, that's the trailer. So yeah, that is the trailer. That is the breakdown. It says I've been recording for nearly an hour now, so this is probably going to be a longer video. So if you hung out and watched this video, thank you so much, and I do appreciate it. And I don't know how much Witch Queen content I really am going to be doing. I know I would rather play than focus on making videos, but we'll see how it goes. If there's like any more Witch Queen trailers that come out between now and then, which I'm sure there will be. I know there has to be at least a launch trailer in February, but we'll see what happens. I will definitely do a breakdown for those as well. So again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next video. Later.